Okay, I am going to be giving Anna a bedside swallowing evaluation today, and I will be explaining what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So first of all, I'm going to greet her, and that's to make sure she can understand me, she knows what's going on, she's alert, and I'm also, while I'm doing this, going to be assessing her posture and respiration pattern, checking out if she has a feeding tube or trach in, and this is just to check for any abnormalities. If she has breathing problems, that could affect her swallow. There are some limitations. I might not be able to tell the extent of her breathing problems, but I can try my best and know if she has some that might affect her swallow. So I'll go ahead and get started. Hi Anna, how are you today?
Just fine.
We are going to be doing a swallowing exam, okay?
Okay.
Let's get started. Okay, so first I am going to look in her mouth and see if first I'm going to be looking in her mouth, and that is just to see how her oral hygiene is. If she has food residue from a earlier meal or snack, that could become laced with bacteria, and then if she did aspirate it, that would be really bad as compared to just aspirating like fresh non-bacteria filled food. And also I'm going to be checking to make sure that she has all of her components in her mouth, if she's missing teeth or has a chunk of her tongue gone, that could affect her swallow as well. So I'm going to go ahead and look in there. Open your mouth, please. Thank you. Okay, and can you lift your tongue up, please? Okay, and those are all your natural teeth, right? No dentures? Okay, thank you. And if she did have dentures, that could affect her sensory on her hard palate, which would in turn, she might not know if her food is ready to be chewed or ready to be swallowed because she can't sense it as well. Okay, now we will move on, and now I'm going to be assessing her jaw, and I'm going to be assessing her mobility and her jaw strength. And there are limitations to this because when I assess her jaw strength, I'm just doing it with my hands. I'm not using any kind of tool, so it's subjective. And also, I don't know any of her premorbid levels, so maybe she was just as strong as she is now, but I wouldn't know that, and I might think it's weak. So go ahead and please open and close your jaw. Okay, thank you. And now try to open your mouth as wide as possible. Okay, good job. And now move your jaw to the left and to the right. Okay, and now I'm going to have you do the same things while I'm putting pressure on your jaw, all right? Okay, go ahead and open up your mouth. Okay, now move it side to side. Okay, good job. Thank you. And also, please open and close your mouth as quickly as possible. Do it a few times. Okay, great job. Now we'll move on to her labial function, and that's just to check her range of motion, again, her strength, and that again is subjective because I'm putting the tongue depressor on, but I could be pushing harder than I usually do for some reason, and I also don't know how exactly hard I am pushing. And so we will go ahead and get started. Okay, smile please. Okay, thank you. And please round your lips like you're puckering. Okay, and now lick your lips. Okay, and say pa as fast as you can. Okay, good job. Now I'm going to be putting this on your lips, and just try to push back against it, okay? Okay, good job, thank you. Now puff your cheeks out. Okay, thank you. And that is to check for velopharyngeal closure. And we'll move on. Okay, now I'm going to be checking your sensitivity. So when I touch a part of your lip, just let me know if you can feel it. And this is to test her cranial nerve 5. Okay. And close your eyes, please, and let me know when you feel it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Next, we are going to be looking at her lingual function, and this is to test the mobility, the range of motion. If she has problems with this, she might not be able to manipulate or transport the bolus, or also she might not be able to clean out her sulci, which again, if she aspirated, it would be a gross bacteria-filled residue. So please stick out your tongue. Okay, you can stick it back in. Thank you. And bring your tongue to the corners of your mouth. Okay, other side. Okay. Now do the same thing, but do it on with your cheeks. Okay, other side. There you go. Thank you. And now move your tongue from the corner of each lip as fast as you can. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to check if your tongue can move up and down. So open up your mouth, please, and touch the roof of your mouth with your tongue. Okay, now bring your tongue down and touch your lower lip. Okay, thank you. And now I would like you to say ka ka ka.
Ka ka ka.
Okay, and ta ta ta.
Ta ta ta.
Okay, thank you. And now pull your tongue back as far as you can in your mouth. And can you open your mouth? Okay, great, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to be testing her tongue strength. And again, this is subjective because I don't know how hard I'm pushing, and I don't know her her premorbid levels. So there are some limitations. So now want you to stick your tongue out, and I'm gonna push on this, and you just try to push back, okay? Stick it out as far as possible. There you go, thank you. Okay, thank you. And now I'm gonna do it on each side. So you stick your tongue out again, and then you try to push your tongue that way, and I'll push the other way. Okay, stick your tongue out to the side. There you go. Now push back on this. Perfect. Now other side. Okay, thank you. And then we will move on. I'll do the same thing, but I want you to do it on the inside of your mouth, and I'll just hold my hands on your cheeks. Okay, there you go. Other side. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I'm going to be checking her tongue sensitivity, which is assessing the 5th and 9th cranial nerves. Okay, so I'm going to touch your tongue in different spots, just like we did with your lips, and close your eyes and just let me know when you feel it, okay? So go ahead and stick your tongue out all the way, kind of open up your mouth so I can, there you go, perfect. Okay, good job, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to be testing her soft palate and just checking the range of motion, which again, it's kind of hard to see. I'll use my flashlight, but there are some limitations because it's not the easiest to see. Okay, so go ahead and open up your mouth, please. Now say ah. Okay, now say ah. Okay, thank you. And it moved, so that's good. And now I'm going to test her gag reflex, which tests her cranial nerves 9 and 10, and is also if she were to get some food back there and when it wasn't supposed to, see if her gag reflex would come into play and hopefully assist her in removing the object that was back there. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this back here and just elicit a little gag reflex. It won't hurt, and I might be a little uncomfortable, but yeah, it won't hurt, so you'll be fine. Okay? Okay, thank you, sorry. Okay, and now we'll move on, and I'm going to look at her pharynx, which it's kind of hard to see from this point of view, but I'm just going to check and see if there's any redness or any abnormalities, which it would be better maybe if I had the fees or the x-rays, but from the bedside there, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm just going to try to look and see the best that I can. Okay, so just open up your mouth. I'm just gonna put this on your tongue to help me visualize it. Okay, try to put your tongue down. Okay, thank you. And now I'm going to check her laryngeal hyoid elevation, which again from the bedside is kind of hard to do. I can feel it move, but I can't really tell how far it's moving or exactly its range of motion. But this is what we have to do from the bedside. So I'm just gonna have you do a dry swallow, and I'm just gonna put my hand on your neck just to feel for movement, okay? Go ahead and swallow. Okay, thank you. Okay. So now I'm going to assess her vocal quality, which kind of gives me an idea of maybe how her larynx is functioning. So I'm just going to have you repeat after me. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, thank you. And now I'm going to have her cough and clear her throat. And this is to make sure that if food were to get back in her airway, she could like cough or try to clear it out. But my limitations are that I can't actually see what's going on back there. I can hear it and hope that all of her parts are moving correctly, but from just looking at her, I might not be able to tell if the cough made the right body parts move to expel it. So just go ahead and give me a good cough, please. Like, great, thank you. And now clear your throat, please. Okay, thanks. And now I'm just going to check her phonation time, which again is kind of assessing her larynx and how it works. So just go ahead and say "ah" for as long as you can. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Okay, now we are going to move on to our trial swallows, and this is to check to see if she has any signs of aspiration or penetration, which I can kind of tell, but I don't really know. Maybe she had silent aspiration, but from here I can't truly tell. I can just assume that if she doesn't have a reaction, she just was able to swallow normally, but she could be having signs of, she could be having silent aspiration, but I just cannot tell from right here. So we'll go ahead and start. Okay, first, I would like you to we'll do a sip of water. We'll start off small with just this spoonful, and then you can drink from the straw, and then we'll move on to the other foods, okay? So you can go ahead and she appeared to clear that. Now you can go ahead and take just a drink of water from the straw. Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to applesauce. It's a little bit thicker, and you can just take a spoonful yourself and go ahead and swallow it whenever you're ready. She was able to do it. She did have some in her mouth, but that was not because of her swallowing. It was just because it didn't all make it into her mouth. And she was able to clear that just fine, so we will move on. Alright, next is a waffle with some Nutella on it. So I'll try to rip you off a piece. Okay, so just go ahead and do that. And while she's doing this, I can also see if she has a delayed response to swallowing. I can see just her mastication, and I'm going to go ahead and palpate while she's chewing right now. Okay, thank you. And we have a fruit cup, so go ahead and try that. This time I'm going to fill her jaw movement. Okay, thank you. And then our last thing is a cracker. Okay, and can you open up your mouth, please? And I'm gonna check if you have any residue. Oh, you're not. Are you not ready?
I'm not ready.
Okay. Okay. And her mouth appears to be clear, so she was able to get it all down. And that concludes our swallowing exam.